Hi, I'm Karl Waizecker. I'm the principal broker at Klein May Realty. Thanks for joining us for the third quarter market report. I'm joined today by our local Realtors Association CEO, Bob Hill. Thanks for joining me, Bob.
Great, it's a pleasure.
What do you think about our market in the last year or so?
It's been a phenomenal show to watch. Sure enough, the housing market generally goes in cycles, and so this has definitely been an upswing cycle. It started in 2020, last year, and has taken off, and it's going fast. It just keeps going up. It's hard to know when it's going to reach the top. At some point, it has to and start back down. So I keep looking at the figures over the years, like comparing to the last upswing of 2003, 4, 5, and we're mirroring that. It seems to be a 3-year cycle where it's going up for 3 years, and then following that 6, 7, 8, it was 3 years going down. Well, what year are we in? If it started halfway through 2020, obviously it's continuing all of this year. Does it include next year? Probably.
I would agree. Even though we're hearing from some national news and I'm hearing from our agents that some buyers are backing out of the market. You know, it's kind of the basic economics we were taught in school is living out right in front of us. People have decided that price is too high, the competitiveness is too fierce. I'm out for now. But despite that, the numbers still keep going up.
Well, there's so many factors that go into the decision. A lot of it right now is psychologically driven, of gotta have it, gotta get it while it's hot. But then the other factors kick in, like the low interest rates. When that starts going up, that's a psychological factor, dampening effect. When will that happen? How fast will that slow? And just the competition factor is people backing up saying, not going to get out too far ahead of this.
Right. And still it remains extremely competitive, and still buyers are feeling pressured to make aggressive offers and to forego protections like home inspections and those kind of things, which may cause some problems down the road. As people take those kind of risks, a certain percentage of them are going to turn out to be a problem potentially. So that's a concern that we have.
Sure.
You know, some of the things that drive that are the impression folks have in their mind that there's no inventory. And that's what we've been talking about for the last 2 years probably. And I think folks need to understand that there is very short standing inventory.
Absolutely.
But we're selling more houses this year than last year, and sold more last year than the year before. So there are plenty of houses for sale. It's just that they're disappearing from the market. You know, we can't enjoy the second showings and go home and sleep on it and tell me if you'd like to make an offer kind of mindset that we used to.
When we're looking at generally about 5 or 6 days on market for listing, that's the mean, or the average, not the average, but the mean days. So people are looking at that in a panic, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other listings that are about to come on.
Yeah, and that continues, I think, even through the fall. So I mean, we're seeing, you know, prices in Rockingham and Augusta County still being pushed up at 10% or so a year. In some pockets in Rockingham County, especially in Massanutten, there's some really strange things going on, I think fueled by the short-term rental market, the Airbnb market, and a lot of those homes have sold in the last year or so specifically for those short-term rentals. So in the last 12 months, there have been over 100 homes sold in Massanutten, which has never happened before as long as I've been keeping records. It's a really interesting phenomenon. Prices just in Massanutten are up 30%.
Wow.
In a year, fueled by that commercial almost decision to buy a house rather than a residential decision.
So much of the decision is depending on the psychology of the person, and might be early on, I don't know if it's still true, those that were in metropolitan areas wanting to work from home and moving into our beautiful area so you can live here and work from home. So I don't know how much of that is still going on.
Right, I think some of that, we don't really have numbers on it, but just anecdotally we hear about some of that too. I think the one thing that might help relieve some of this pressure is an influx of new construction.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of development happening. There's been a lot of new construction, especially to the south and east of Harrisonburg in the Rockingham County market, and there's a lot in the pipeline. There are some regional builders in the area now. What are you hearing along those lines?
Well, it's still really early in the process, and the building development, the permitting is still going on. It's a slow process. So when that will actually start to affect the market, maybe early next year is when we'll start seeing the new construction.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. And if interest rates, unless something crazy happens with interest rates, I agree with what you said in the very beginning. I think we'll have another year similar to this.
Yeah.
Certainly this year has been super strong for sellers. A little bit tough if you're a buyer. So buyers need to have all their ducks in a row and be ready to move fast and decisively. And I really don't see that changing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that.
Well, that's been a great conversation. Thanks so much for joining me, Bob. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us for the third quarter market report here in 2021. If you'd like some charts and graphs and a little more detail on what we were talking about, you can find all of that at our website, homes.report. Quarterly market reports are posted there throughout the year. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in 3 months.